Hey guys, CryptoClover here. I wanted to do a quick little market overcap and explain some of the reasoning behind why we're seeing this really just really different kind of pricing fluctuations that we've seen. So, right here recently in the past day or two, we've seen the market cap has really fallen off. I mean, it was about 650 billion a little bit earlier, a few days ago, and now we've seen pricing of Bitcoin come down to 13,000, 12,000. It's changed quite a bit over the last day or two. And initially I was kind of not really. I was a little bit confused about it by myself, but kind of did a little research. I was doing some. I was looking into a few different things, and the chart that I have on my profile picture is probably one of the best representations of why we're seeing pricing where it's at. So if you take a look, I'm going to show you this, guys, here as well. Let me expand this. So this has been probably one of the best charts that I've seen of kind of like holiday spending. This is a little graph that I found by Bizarre Voice Network, which is kind of going over the page views, traffic of holiday shopping and whatnot. And so the Christmas spending season is a huge financial impact on the market. And so as we kind of ramp up to December 25th, we've seen a lot of increase in spending, and I think one of the biggest trends that we see this massive kind of spike on the weekend before the Christmas season. And so that would be the Saturday, the Sunday, and Monday before Christmas. And so that's typically when we're going to see a lot of the holiday shopping. And John McAfee was commenting on this a little bit earlier, basically saying that reason we're seeing pricing coming down so much here in the past few days is because of people selling out spending in for holiday shopping and whatnot. And that to me really makes the most sense. And I think that's the main reason why we're seeing a huge price dip, specifically with Bitcoin. Because if you're taking a look at the market cap at about 650 billion, it's impacting Bitcoin a little bit more than some of the alt currencies. And so what I think we're seeing is people selling Bitcoin to get money for holiday spending. And that's the biggest indicator that I've seen here recently. And I think one of the things that I wanted to kind of look into is where we see some of the pricing coming here in the near future. So I would anticipate probably over the next day or two we might even see the prices come down a little bit more. The few of the chat rooms and things that I've been in. They're even predicting that we might see Bitcoin even come down even a little bit further. It might even come down into the 12, 11,000 range. Some people are saying 10,000. I don't see it going that low. I've been mentioning this is a great time to buy Bitcoin if you have some fiat money to throw in to cryptocurrency. I think we'll see another dip potentially right before Christmas, as you kind of as Bitcoin tends to be a pretty male-dominated industry, and typically most of the men tend to do a lot of their holiday shopping last minute. So you'll see even a little bit more of a dip. I don't think it'll be too drastic. I think we might see the pricing come down just a little bit, and then I think what you'll start to see is that a lot of people will start to kind of come back into cryptocurrency. There's still some holiday shopping after the season. There's still people that are getting into some of the deals that we have during the holiday season. And so I think what we'll see is pricing will Pricing will dip just a little bit right before Christmas, and then it'll start to gradually rise. And I think once we hit January, I think we're going to see a huge boom in pricing, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm predicting. One of the I wanted to show you guys another little interesting infograph. So this is oops, let me do this again. So this was a consumer business, holiday spending survey that was showing when people are kind of doing the majority of their shopping. December, January, you're seeing 54% of the people in this survey doing most of their shopping during this time frame. I mean, you have Black Friday, you have some of the spending that's going on during that time frame, but I think during those times you have a lot of people that already have enough capital really to to cover some of those expenses. So I don't think you're going to see as many people really getting into selling their Bitcoin to to finance some of those purchases and whatnot. So after the Christmas timeframe, we're seeing more and more buying. Typically that's due to holiday sales. It's due to kind of buying, right before the end of the 2017 season, and so I think that's an interesting trend. But this was also another article on Forbes magazine that was basically talking about how holiday spending is exceeding $1 trillion. So if you look at the total cryptocurrency market, I mean, we still haven't hit those numbers. It's still a relatively small percentage of the overall financial landscape, and so this type of holiday spending and whatnot can have some drastic impacts on pricing. And I think that that infograph that I was kind of showing you guys is probably one of the best reasoning or indicators that I can see as to why we've seen prices come down just so substantially here in the last day. Let me see if I can bring up another graph here. I'll check in with the chat here in just a sec. Let's pull this up. So just in the past day or so here, this is looking over the last week. So we've seen kind of a double top right here, kind of a little bit of a plateau in pricing, and then here in the last day we've seen it really fall off. Coming down substantially. 450 billion in terms of the market cap, and so we're seeing prices recover a little bit. Let's put this into the last day. So we're saying that pricing has really been erratic here, and that's just kind of a little bit of an interesting trend here. But yeah, just give you guys a little bit of a peek. This is the Airbnb that I'm staying at here in the Central Business District. So this is very close to the office I'm gonna be looking to set up here in Singapore. So it's a nice little downtown area, skyline view. You can see downtown Singapore here in the background. So nice little spot. They got a Christmas tree. I don't have to worry about getting into the holiday season too much. Since I'm traveling so much, there's no way I'm putting up a Christmas tree. But yeah, let me check in with the chat here a little bit. What's up, Clover? Congrats on getting a top promoter position in Singapore. Appreciate that, Chris. I've had a lot of people have reached out to me and given me props on that. So a lot of people also interested in now kind of working with some of the projects and things that I'm planning on doing here. So I'm definitely looking forward to collaborating more with some people that are interested in kind of some of the same things that I'm trying to do. I'm really interested in setting some things up that is really going to kind of tackle the cryptocurrency market. And I want to have I want to surround myself with really smart people. I want to surround myself with people that are really dialed into the cryptocurrency market. You've seen some of the other top promoters are kind of going in different ways. You see some people that are, hosting lavish parties and kind of going that route. You're seeing some people that are having massive kind of conferences and things like that. That's kind of going over cryptocurrencies in general, and typically that's That's a little bit of an interesting way of doing it. I think that for me, what I really want to do is I want to bring some of the best information and resources to my audience and to my and to the people that are joining my community. Because I think, you know, in the end, what I want to do is I want to provide the most amount of value that I can, and I think the best way for me to do that is to set up a very, you know, high-end trading office, which is much more of my background. For those of you who've been following my stream, my background is more in electricity trading, and I've done a lot of work with IT professionals on building platforms and systems that need to be used on very high-end trading platforms. And I've got a few connections in that industry that are very interested in leaving what they're doing and coming and joining me and setting some things up with what I'm doing here. I'm looking also at setting up some media production offices, probably not in Singapore, but one of the locations I'm looking at is in Saigon. I'm working with the Vietnam team there, and I think that there's some interesting dynamics for doing that. I spent some time working with the Indian team. What's really interesting about the Indian team is they actually have a tremendous amount of capital that's in BitConnect, that's in some of these other cryptocurrency platforms. One of the problems that they're having is kind of advertising to the Indian community. And so for Indians, and this is something I don't know, I didn't really understand, but this is what it's been explained to me, is that Indians don't necessarily trust other Indians. And so one of the things that they're looking to do is to do more videos and to do more information with a different, essentially a different face, kind of giving those presentations. So if I were to come in and do some videos, and I'm doing that for the Indian team, one of the things that they're telling me is that the Indians are going to have a lot more trust in a foreigner like me, as opposed to another Indian that's kind of giving them the same exact information. And so I'm still trying to learn a little bit more about those dynamics, but I think that I'm very interested in working with those guys. I've had a lot of fun hanging out with them for the past few days, and there's some interesting dynamics there. So I'm looking forward to heading out. I mean, my original plan after I left Dubai was to come over to India and start doing a little bit of networking there. But with the Singapore position, I really needed to come here and start setting up an office, setting up some meetup groups, setting up some different things to get connected and dialed into the cryptocurrency market here in Singapore. So that's currently what I'm doing. I'm just fighting a little bit of jet lag and hoping to kind of get a little bit more prepared for setting some things up here. Yeah, hold on for dear life. Yeah, a lot of holding. Positioning, marketing, no matter the culture, is something I could help you with, FYI. All right, appreciate that, Robert. Yeah, I've really enjoyed some of the commenting that you've been providing on my channel. So I'm interested to kind of hear some of your perspectives. Whereabouts are you based, Robert? I don't know if I ever got that from you. Brajong, yeah, that works. What does hold mean? So I've been seeing a lot of videos actually here recently. This is a very interesting dynamic behind BitConnect. So as you're seeing, every single other cryptocurrency really in the red, and double digits in the red. You're seeing, you know, the one you know, kind of safe haven and the one safe haven in cryptocurrency has been the lending platform for BitConnect. So if you have substantial assets that are tied up in the lending platform, you're doing pretty well right now. In fact, you're doing great. And so, like, you know, I've been doing pretty well on the lending aspect, and I'm making sure that pretty much as I'm seeing these low prices, I'm transferring over all of my lending portfolio into BCC right now to get really some cheap BCC. And I think that's a great strategy right now, as we saw pricing at about 450, 460 not too long ago. So I anticipate that we'll see another jump here in the near future. So I think that that's a great way to kind of hedge your position with cryptocurrencies. So for days like this, where typically if maybe you didn't have the market knowledge to really kind of anticipate this type of drop. And I've been traveling so much, I haven't really been looking at this as much, and so it kind of caught me by surprise as well. Otherwise, I probably would have sold out or whatnot. But when I initially saw the pricing just falling off a cliff, I was a little bit confused by it at first. But now after looking into it, it makes more sense. So one of the things I want to try to do is some of those timings of the market during the year. I want to get better at providing that value and providing that scope and that forecast for my audience. So I'm going to be looking to do that a little bit more. What's going on, Yellow Ducky? I'm glad I was able to get some more of you guys online. This is probably a better time for people in the States. I keep trying to do live streaming when everyone's asleep in the US. Clover, I have a great connections in Kenya with top marketing firms and would like to work with you on getting the Kenyan BCC headquarters. Okay, great. Yeah, send me an email. I've been my inbox has been blowing up here recently, but I'm really interested in connecting with a few different teams of people. The African market is kind of interesting. So my girlfriend in Dubai, she's from Zimbabwe, and she was telling me a little bit about the market over there. She also spent quite a bit of time in Nigeria, and was interesting to kind of hear those perspectives. There's going to be a new top promoter. There's two guys in Nigeria that are setting up some teams. They're kind of younger guys, but I'm really interested in kind of what they're doing, and they're really wanting to kind of network more with me as well. Yeah, the Kenyan market is untapped. There's the sub-Saharan African community there. You have some of the teams in South Africa that are in BitConnect. However, speaking with those guys, I mean they are still kind of new to cryptocurrency and still kind of learning, and they're kind of relying on some of the people in the community to kind of give them a little bit more market perspectives and whatnot. So looking to kind of connect with some more of those communities and seeing what value and whatnot I can provide. BTC going to 20K plus. Yeah, I'm anticipating we're going to see 20,000 Bitcoin probably in early January, maybe even right before the new year. So that's I think that's where we'll see, once we kind of hit that $20,000 price plateau, I think we're going to get some more interest in cryptocurrency. And as we kind of move out of the holiday season, I think we'll really start to see it boom in January again. Just curious, how active is the BitConnect community in the Philippines? It was actually one of the kind of original communities that was kind of getting involved with BitConnect. So Janelle, the national over there, he's been working with the Philippine team for quite some time. There's some interesting dynamics with the Philippines. So there's more English-speaking people in the Philippines as opposed to some of the other Asian countries. So, for instance, the top promoter for Indonesia doesn't speak English. The top promoter for Vietnam doesn't speak English. The top promoter for Korea doesn't speak English. And as you get more and more, Thailand as well, the top promoter for Thailand doesn't speak English. So all of these different communities, they don't have an English-speaking counterpart. They need a translator. They have other people that are helping them. And however, in the Philippines, there's much more of that in that community. And so one of the things I've been looking at, there's a connection I have here in Singapore that's been building some companies in Singapore, and he uses a lot of the people in the Philippines for development support, for phone customer service and support. It's much less expensive to kind of outsource some of your human resources to the Philippines as opposed to hiring those same people in Singapore. In Singapore, the unemployment rate is like 0.5%. It's extremely low. So it's not hard to find a very good paying job in Singapore. It's a very strong economy. And for some of those reasons, if you were to hire somebody in Singapore, they're going to have higher standards. They're going to have in terms of, they're going to have higher standards in terms of pay, and what they're going to be kind of providing in terms of value. You know, you might be able to hire two guys in the Philippines or even in Vietnam, for the same price. What's going on, Michael Weber? Good to have you on. Yeah, what's the best email? CryptoClover at Gmail. If you want to reach me there, that's going to be probably one of the best ways to get a hold of me. Clover, did you check out that 10x office in Singapore? I haven't, so I'll take a look at that and maybe see if I can bring some video to you guys. As I'm planning on being here in Singapore pretty much, indefinitely until I get some other reason that pulls me out of the country. I will be going back to Dubai every 2 months, so that's kind of my original plan. So perhaps I may stay here for 2 months and really just kind of work hard to develop some networks and build some teams here, and work to develop some systems. So I mean, I've been traveling quite a bit, and so I've been fairly disorganized. I really am looking forward to setting up an office where I can get organized. I can potentially hire an assistant. One of the guys here that are hosting me at this Airbnb, it just so happens that he's a very high level executive HR resource guy that has a lot of different connections in terms of bringing on senior level support assistants. So one of the things I was kind of working and chatting with him about is finding a very competent, very detail oriented assistant that can help kind of take the load off of my shoulders for a lot of different things that I have, where I can focus more of my time and effort on videos and bring in my audience more value and whatnot. And so I think for the most part, what I'm really trying to do is really kind of build a good community and network that people really want to be a part of. And so that's a big thing I'm looking to do to provide my audience some value. My conspiracy side thinks it's too conspicuous that the central banks and Bill Gates coins were gaining while everything else was tanking. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that a little bit. I didn't even know there was a Bill Gates coin. I have to look at that. Are you going to set up residence in Singapore? Yeah. So I'm going to be looking to. I'm going to probably be doing Airbnb and kind of like maybe corporate housing here initially until I can kind of get a better idea of where specifically it is I want to live and kind of set up shop. I'm also looking to possibly bring my dog out from Seattle. I really miss my dog. She's getting older and she's having some health problems back in the U.S. I have a great person taking care of her. But that would be really great if I could bring my dog out. And I think one of the things I just want to do is maybe break up the trip. So maybe we'll take a short trip to Hawaii, which is kind of halfway between Seattle and Singapore, and kind of let her reacclimate and rest a little bit, and then kind of take her out for the remaining trip. And then when I'm traveling and doing some things, I can have someone take care of her. So I'll have to look into that a little bit. Yeah, she will have to go into quarantine for like a month. So she's gonna be sitting at the airport, I think, for a month. And I've heard people doing that. It's like they have that policy here in Singapore. So do you think BTC price was shorted to bring down the price? I think that I don't know if it was necessarily shorted. I think really what you had a little bit of a sell-off. So it's very possible that with the trends with cryptocurrency pricing, that some of the kind of the more high frequency trading that's going on in countries like Korea, Hong Kong, a few other really centers for trading, they're going to pick up on some of these trends. And so if they start to see demand really dwindle in terms of buying, and you're seeing a lot of sell-off in the market, some of those automated software and trading is going to pick up. Those algorithms will key into that, and will start shorting Bitcoin, which will drive the price even lower. And so some of those, since I don't have software set up in place to really kind of tap into that, that's one of the big things I'm looking to do here in Singapore is to kind of identify some of those trends and provide some of that information to my audience so that they can make, you know, educated and informed decisions on their cryptocurrency portfolio. Since it is such a volatile market, that it's very important that you have a little bit of information before, you know, you're starting to kind of move some of your assets around. But it is very efficient to move cryptocurrency from coin to coin, or, you know, from fiat to crypto and back and forth and whatnot, or even going into technologies like Tether. So those are some interesting things I'm looking to you know, really kind of learn more about, and kind of work with some of the people that are wanting to kind of work with me in my community. Hey Clover, do you think the Dinkelvoss twins are bank dumping to get a short position and double dip on the rebuy? You know, it's possible. I don't know as much about, you know, what it is that they're kind of doing behind the scenes. I mean, you know, they've really developed their Gemini exchange, and I don't know how much they're able to kind of manipulate the market based on some of their holdings. I would imagine they're holding quite a bit, but they're taking some of their assets. I mean, if they're smart, you know, they probably have some different things set up in place to you know, to take advantage of some of the volatility of cryptocurrency. I don't think they have their entire portfolios, you know, and I don't think that there would be enough of a market depth for you know, some of the whale, you know, traders such as the Winklevoss twins to be able to facilitate some of those trades. But I would imagine that they have something in place. If not, you know, maybe I need to set something up here in Singapore and offer them my services. Group of whales set up clubs where they pump and dump. Yeah, I mean, there's groups of whale traders throughout the world that probably aren't, you know, necessarily in the public eye or providing some of their positions, you know, for outsiders, you know. And that's something that I was even considering doing. Was, you know, I can provide a lot of value with you know, trading positions, with setting up trading bots and trading bot education and whatnot. Do I want to make that public? I don't know. And that's one of the things I'm kind of looking to do is to kind of get a little bit of feedback on that and see if that's going to be you know, the best way for me to do that. Do you believe that Charlie Lee sold his Litecoin for the reason he said, or do you think he has more to it? You know, I think, you know, Charlie Lee was starting to get pretty critical of platforms like BitConnect, but also just kind of commenting on cryptocurrency in general. He wasn't really a guy that was in the public eye as much in terms of, you know, in terms of giving his opinions and stances on things. And so I think, you know, he was starting to get a lot of criticism as to, you know, some of his positions on certain things, because there was always usually pro Litecoin. You know, if you know, if he was coming out and talking negatively about one platform, and yet saying, you know, saying that you know, Litecoin is going to be the safe haven. I mean, that's going to be very controversial right there. And so I think one of the things I see from Charlie Lee is I think he wants to get more into the space in terms of like offering his perspective on the market. And in order for him to do that, he's basically saying that he needs to get out of Litecoin, at least, you know, publicly, or at least what he's telling people. I don't know if I fully believe that he sold all of his Litecoin, but, you know, I think that he's really wanting to get into more of the space of being, you know, kind of a cryptocurrency, you know, expert, where he's going to come in and give his positions on a number of different platforms, and he wants to have an unbiased position on Litecoin. And so he's essentially, you know, saying that he's getting out of Litecoin so that he can have you know, a position that's not necessarily favoritism, you know, providing favoritism towards Litecoin. So, you know, since he's the creator, I think that's going to be, you know, hard for him to do, even if he did, you know, claim that he sold all of his Litecoin. Charlie's family is huge in mining cryptocurrencies in China. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about his background, but that sounds like that might be an interesting dynamic there. Charlie's looking to do a possible big deal with Face. I'm assuming Facebook. and that might be another reason. You know, some of these guys, like, they get huge offers behind the scenes. You know, I mean, I'm dealing with that right now. Like, I have a few people that want me to be the, you know, the main promoter, or the, you know, the top guy for their platform. And right now I kind of have some exclusivity with BitConnect, so it's hard for me to say no, you know, to BitConnect and go on another platform, an unproven platform. It's a very big risk for me, and so that's something that I'm not necessarily willing to do at this point. You know, and I think that I just see a lot of potential behind the BitConnect platform in terms of how they're incorporating the community. I mean, it's one of the big things that I see from BitConnect that I don't see from any other platform. Is you have you know, communities all around the world. They're setting up offices around the world. They're growing, expanding. There's been a lot of criticism behind, you know, the platform from people that don't really understand it. I'm getting ready to do, you know, a video on you know, Tai Lopez. I mean, I'm ready to just rip Tai Lopez, because I really think that, you know, he just got into the cryptocurrency market. I mean, this was essentially a no-coiner. This is a guy that has no concept of cryptocurrencies in general, and he's basing all of his expertise and his vision on guys that he interprets as market experts. And, you know, I think that I'd love to get into a debate with this guy, because they're saying they could go on and on about BitConnect, and I don't think they have a clue what they're talking about. And in fact, I could probably prove it. And so one of the things I'm looking to do is to really provide some more of those hardcore stances on cryptocurrency, because you have a lot of people that really speaking on topics they don't really have any experience or understanding, and they just got into the cryptocurrency market, and now they're claiming that they're experts. So now Tai Lopez has got a great following. You know, he's been a guy that I've been following here, you know, recently. I think that he's got some interesting perspectives. However, some of his positions, I think he's basically he's leveraging his knowledge on other you know, individuals that he's determining as experts. And so, you know, yeah, Tai Lopez is annoying when he talks about crypto, and he's annoying because he doesn't, you know, he's a noob. You know, he just got into cryptocurrency, and he's going around and basically, you know, explaining, you know, that you know, he thinks that, you know, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. I just, you know, we'll see. Yeah, Tai, his expertise often includes a commission. So he's definitely, he's pumping his own platform or his own, like, trading, you know, certification course or whatever he's got going there. I haven't looked too much into it, but it's essentially like, you know, sign up for my course or my you know, my platform. I have some of the best people, you know, advising me on this, and you know, who's to say that these guys are the experts? I mean, they're, you know, Tai Lopez for sure is not a cryptocurrency expert. He just recently got into the space because he's seeing the potential behind it. So I don't see him as a guy that's going to be providing a whole lot of value, at least right now. I think we'll see a day a lot when these people change their opinion on BitConnect. Yeah, either they're going to change their position or they're going to go silent on it. I've seen some people that have been super critical of BitConnect and then essentially have kind of tucked their tail and not commented on it very much anymore because, you know, they were essentially wrong. Yeah. Yeah, all these Amazon FBA dudes running crypto courses now. Him picking on Nick was distasteful. I didn't get into that, rags to Bitcoin Josh, but I'm interested in that. I didn't know that he was picking on Nick or whatnot. And so the thing is and the thing that I really don't like about people that are new coming into the cryptocurrency space is really going after and criticizing people that have been in the crypto space for years and years and years. So you have to have some respect for people that have been in the space for a long time, that have been commenting on it, even if you disagree with their opinions. You know, you need to have a little bit of respect for these people because they are If he ripped Crypto Nick, all right, I need to do a video on this guy. Because Crypto Nick has been a huge asset for the cryptocurrency community, and I really like some of the material and things that he's been doing. I don't like people going after others that are speaking on a position of authority when they're not very educated on the subject or topic. So I'll be looking to do a video here on that. Ian Bolinas changes view on BCC. I'll have to look into that a little bit. I'm a crypto advocate, but it's a responsibility. I got to have accountability simply to live with myself. That's integrity. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the USI Tech cease and desist? So that was an interesting one. I think I mentioned on one of my live streams a little while ago that I was hearing that who was it? It was BTC Sessions did a very interesting video on USI Tech where he basically did all this research and found all this information behind the scenes. And so now I know that unfortunately I've been promoting this platform for a while. I stopped promoting it about a month ago and stopped kind of providing my referral links. I don't want people to sign up for it right now. And so I would recommend for those of you that are in my audience in USI Tech to basically cash out. That's kind of what I'm doing right now. I don't trust the platform at this point. Do you think BitConnect will use a different crypto for purchasing with the higher cost of BTC transfers? Yeah, so Michael Weber, they're going to be, it looks like they're going to be doing that in March, is they're going to be adding a number of different coins to the platform. They're going to be changing the volatility algorithm to account for some of these other cryptocurrencies. So typically BitConnect has been, or at least what they're claiming behind the scenes is that it runs on BTC to USD volatility. And so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be adding a lot of cryptocurrency pairs and trading on those cryptocurrency pairs. And that's going to be added to the volatility software platform that they're using to create their daily interest rate. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of different ways to get into BitConnect, and so I think that that's a very interesting element and thing that they're going to be bringing onto the scene. How many coins they're going to be bringing on and which coins is still kind of up for debate, but that's something that I think that is going to be a really interesting development for the platform. 1K a day in USI. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's still working. It's still, you know, profitable for some. I mean, I've been seeing enough red flags for me that and also with my position with BitConnect, I'm not going to be able to really talk about that anymore. So for me personally, I'm going to be not promoting USI Tech anymore. Where is the best place to get BitConnect updated material other than you? That's a good question. You know, there's I think I would probably say the top promoter circle that we have. So we have a WhatsApp group that we kind of exchange a lot of information amongst ourselves, and I think that's been a great resource for me. My number recently changed, so I got to get my information back to them so I can get some of those updates. But there's some really smart guys in there. So Simon from Canada, you know, John from Australia, you know, Josh from the U.S. You know, there's some of the international teams, the Indonesian team, the Vietnamese team, the Korean team. They're providing a lot of value into that group, and so for me. What I like to do is I like to take some bits of information that I'm getting and give that to my audience. But in terms of, like, you know, updates and news, you know, I mean, the website, and they have this like what's his name? It's like Jack Dean, I believe. That's kind of at least the kind of the name that they're using for their social media on their website. And so he's been providing, kind of generic, updates to the platform in terms of where he thinks, or I guess I should say he's providing, content for the website, and cryptocurrency content, BitConnect content. But I think, really what the main thing that they're doing is they have the roadmap, and I think one of the biggest things they want to do is they really want to stick to that roadmap. And so for here in January, they're going to be focusing on that and providing updates and as best they can, for the plans that they have moving forward. So let's bring up the roadmap a little bit. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so they're January, they're going to be doing security UI improvements. They're going to be doing some feature building, adding more security layers to the web platform, public and private APIs for third-party websites and service providers. So they're going to really need that security updates for the UI improvements that they're going to be doing. So it's I think one of the big things that they're moving into is they're going to be doing merchant processing. So they're going to be setting up stores where you can buy things with BCC, you can buy things with Bitcoin. You're not going to be able to buy things with fiat currency. They'll have an ATM there for you to buy Bitcoin or BCC with your fiat currency if you need to. And so that's something they're looking to set up here, which would be really interesting to see how that rolls out. What's going on, John? Good to have you on. Just reading ill Matt's comment here. Yeah, I mean, I know some people are doing really well with that platform. I just, I'm not going to be able to talk about it much anymore, unfortunately. But some of the things I might be able to do in some more of my private chat groups and whatnot, where I can speak on some of these a little bit more. But some things I'm just some of the vibes or some of the red flags that are coming up. I'm not real sure. If you're looking at some of the red flags, I would just recommend taking a look at BTC Sessions video that he did on USI Tech. I think he did a really great video and did some real in-depth information on that. And so I'm interested to kind of see some of that. I hope they add Bitcoin Cash. I'm assuming that BitConnect will probably add that to the platform. Dash has been the big one that's been trending. I'm pretty sure they're going to be adding privacy coins like Dash and Monero. But they don't necessarily want us kind of saying hey, this coin's going to be added or this coin's going to be added, because then people expect it, and there may be reasons why they don't add one or the other, and then they roll out those changes in March, and people are like, hey, why wasn't this added or that added because so and so said this, and so that's something to be wary of. Michael Crypto is named in the USI scandal. Interesting. What's going on, Alan? Just checking out of the chat here. Oops. Did you see the house in Florida for sale, only purchasable with crypto? There's actually platforms where you can buy, strictly with Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So I mean, that's, I saw that, but it's not necessarily like, like that's a huge innovation, because there's like websites you can go to where they have like luxury homes and whatnot that are, purchasable in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. So, that's. I think that's going to be a growing trend that you're going to see. I mean, we still haven't hit 1% of the total money supply in the world, and I think once that happens, you'll really start to see things take off and see things go parabolic. But there's going to be more and more of these trends to purchase things in cryptocurrency. I think one of the biggest things that you're going to be dealing with is some of the regulations and taxes behind the scenes. So if you're facilitating these large transactions, peer to peer, that might be something where you're going to have issues of not necessarily disclosing some of that. So that's kind of where I see. Are you able to review this chat after you stream, or should I connect directly somewhere else? Cincinnati, I'm not sure. Oh, Cincinnati, Ohio, that's where you're at. Okay, I think I remember you saying that. Yeah, I mean, you can send me an email, CryptoClover at Gmail, and that's a good way to connect. I don't really review the chat afterwards. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think they keep that on record. I think you can, like you can see some of the chat, but essentially it kind of goes away after your live stream changes. So you can see like the previous live stream, but that's about it. You guys can buy a car through Ozzy the BS filter. He owns a dealership and takes BTC. Interesting. Yeah, I knew he was kind of he's a big car guy, especially with classic cars. And he's got enough assets where he can kind of facilitate those transactions. So, all right, Gabriel, I'm blocking your ass. Yeah, chat disappears after 1 hour. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Clover, you need mods. Yeah, luckily, when I'm live streaming, I mean, you see a lot of cryptocurrency people are advertising. They're really kind of getting themselves out there, and they're building up their audience. And unfortunately, one of the side effects of that is you get more and more trolls, or you get more and more immature people that are going to be coming into your streams and essentially just trying to cause havoc. And so here's another one. I will have to do my best to kind of deal with those. But yeah, troll coin. Yeah, I mean, I really rarely have trolls, and I think part of that is I'm not advertising. Like I'm not like my following is still very authentic in those terms. Like I mean, my following is actually very similar to Michael Crypto's. Several months back before he started advertising, and I really like Michael Crypto's ads. I really like what he's doing. But what you'll see is people that'll advertise, and they'll start to get a lot of subscribers and things like that. And they don't necessarily have the engagement, and they can also have a lot more, people that are kind of entering their streams or whatnot. He doesn't live stream as much. He's really just kind of posting videos. But he was also on Instagram, and he had I think he had like 300 or 400 followers one day, and then I checked into his Instagram, and all of a sudden he had 20,000 followers. And so he bought like a bunch of followers on his Instagram, and to kind of build up his following. Like for me, I don't necessarily care about some of those numbers. It's not going to boost my confidence if I have X amount of followers as opposed to others, because I know that you can just buy followers. Ty Lopez started a live video. I might have to get on there and troll him. It was funny because I was on there. I was on one of his live videos, and I started talking about BitConnect, and he brought it up, and I knew he was reading my comments because I was the only one on there talking about BitConnect. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a scam." I could go on and on about it. I was like, "Really? What, what, what are you going to bring to the table? What kind of facts are you going to talk about? Where's your expertise? Where's your knowledge? Let's have a debate." You're going to talk crap about Crypto Nick, who's been in the space for years and years, and you just got in, and all of a sudden you're an expert. I can position you in a crowded marketplace, helping you articulate what you are good at. In my eyes, yeah, I'd appreciate that, Robert. You've been a great commenter on my streams, providing value. So definitely interested. I heard Crypto Nick bought all or most of his YouTube followers. He does some interesting advertising things. So he was one of the first innovators to actually start like doing Bitcoin giveaways. And so when he started doing that, like his comment stream started getting flooded. He was getting more likes on his videos, and he was that's boosting him in the YouTube stream. So when you're looking for suggested content, more and more people are subscribing to his channel. And so those are definitely some tactics and things that you can do, and potentially some things that I might start doing here in the future. For right now, I'm kind of happy with where I'm at. I might be looking to add some more of these here, but I've seen some of the guys that are doing that get trolled mercilessly. The two guys that come to mind are Trevon James and Craig Grant. They take a lot of heat, and a lot of it's from people that don't know anything about what they're talking about and are really just trying to cause drama. And I have a lot of respect for those guys. I know some people don't necessarily like some of their marketing strategies and whatnot, but they're two of the pioneers in cryptocurrency, especially especially Craig Grant. Like, Craig Grant was one of the original guys that was talking about cryptocurrency in the space, and so you have to give him some respect, for that. And if you don't, you're really kind of not speaking from a place of experience. Like, Ty Lopez really should be looking at some of the original guys and some of the founding guys that were speaking on channels and in this space as they were some of the pioneers. And I think that's you have to have a little bit of history in terms of knowing some of these guys. So I've met both of them in person. I know a lot of people had a lot of criticisms behind them, and then I met them in person, and I get their positions a lot more now. And there's been some people that have like sent me videos. I've mentioned this a couple of times, where they sent me videos and I'm like, hey, you can use this to expose Craig or Trevon or whatever. And then I listen to it, and I listen to what the context of what it is that was going on, and I totally get where Craig or Trevon were coming from. However, these are guys that have massive amounts of referrals, and they don't necessarily connect with their audience. And so, like, once I became mentioned that I became a top promoter for Singapore, I have a lot of people that are on that are referrals with Craig and with Trevon that wanted to connect with me and join with me and what I'm doing, because I actually respond to them. I'm talking with them. I'm giving them some value, and so I think that that's something that I'm looking to do. And if I'm having trouble connecting with my audience and whatnot, that's where I'm going to be bringing some more some people to kind of help help connect others. And if I need to kind of bring a bunch of people together with a with a meetup group or whatnot, or even an online group, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking to do. Yeah, Trevon is the most laid-back dude in crypto. He's he's got that kind of just he's got that kind of laid-back mentality and that style, and you kind of meet him, and that's kind of where he's at. So he's Very non-drama guy, you know, just, you know, go with the flow. What's going on, Crypto Goose? Charlie Bound Christmas tree. Yeah. Let's see this, guys. It's my Christmas tree. That's where I'll be putting my presents, I guess, to myself or my dog. Michael Weber. I didn't know I was so tall till Trevon. Yeah, Trevon is you know, he's not the biggest guy. So, you know, and I think a lot of people when they meet me in person are real surprised at how big I am. I don't know a whole lot of people that are taller than me. You know, I'm you know, a real tall guy. And maybe that's why I'm into Asian girls, because they're a little bit smaller. I just have this fear. Like I've dated like taller women before. Like I dated one she was a gorgeous woman. She was like 6'1". She was working for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Had a great job, great career, and whatnot. But I was just like, man, suppose we have a daughter. You know, hypothetically, I mean, that girl is gonna be a giant. I just couldn't do that. Sunset Rider, what's going on? Appreciate that. Are you going to open up an office in Singapore? I'm actually going to be opening an office right after this live stream. I'm going to be going down to co-working space here and discussing on opening up an office there. So I got my computer in my bag. I'm going to be going over to like a tech place and getting like some of the components, maybe buying some screens, you know, all the cords and components I need, because I just brought my CPU and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing that. Right after this. Yeah, making a shit ton in crypto helps that laid back mentality. If you need any IT help, let me know. Yeah, I'm going to be looking to be doing a lot of interviewing with people. I'm going to be looking to really see what people's strengths are and what they can kind of bring to the platform. And some of the things that I'm going to be doing. There's some really smart IT crypto people in this area. So I'm going to be looking at doing a lot to network with some of those guys and some of those people. So. How far down does BCC go before we should worry? Well, I don't really feel like you should worry. I feel like this is really just a good time to pick up cheap BCC. I would imagine the prices are going to spike here, and I mean, if you can get BCC at like 300 or below right now, that's great, because I mean I think by January we're going to be seeing 500 BCC, so you'd be very close to doubling up here in like a month's time. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not selling, I'm holding, and I'm transferring everything over into BCC and Bitcoin, because this is a great time to hold. I want to move to Thailand, so I'll drop by and sing in Singapore. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Thailand, the cost of living is great in Thailand. I really like the hospitality there. They really, it's really been growing on me. I haven't spent much time in Bangkok. Now, Bangkok is a gigantic city, so I don't know, I can't really speak on Bangkok as much since I haven't spent some time there, but just being in Pattaya, like Pattaya was great. Like Pattaya was a really cool city, but then after that, I went to Koh Samui and some of the islands in the southwestern part of the country. I hear just great things about Phuket. I haven't had a chance to meet there, or not meet there, but go there. And so I'm going to be looking maybe doing some traveling there. I know John from Australia, the top promoter for Australia, right after the Dubai meeting, he went out to Phuket, and he really likes going out there and spending some time. And so my high school football coach, my position coach, he almost lived there. He almost moved his entire family there, and so he was like really intrigued by that whole place. Yeah, I lost a bunch, but it'll come back up. Yeah, just got to hold. As I mentioned earlier in my live stream, the big reason why we're seeing, this, this, we're seeing all this activity in the market right now is people are selling out, potentially for, or most likely for holiday shopping, as the peak of the holiday shopping is right around this time frame. And so that seems to be the biggest indicator as to why we're seeing pricing the way it is. And as soon as you start to see a trend kind of grow, that can really kind of spread throughout the market. And I think that's the main thing that we're kind of seeing, and you can see that once you start to see a little bit of a downtrend or a little bit of an uptrend, some of the kind of the volatility algorithms in the crypto space and some of the trading bots and things that are some of the software that's programmed behind the scenes can really kind of extrapolate that and increase that quite a bit. John, the Australian promoter, haven't heard much from him. Will he be moving towards making an office or any plan for the Australian BCC community? If you have any info. Yeah, so I really like John. I think he's a really smart guy. I think he's got some really interesting insights. I'm part of his private chat group, and there's a lot of interesting things that he's doing there. I think he's very knowledgeable on a lot of different topics. I haven't heard him mention too much about opening an office. I know that there's been some big crackdowns in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency that have happened in Australia from the Australian tax authority. So that might be a little bit of a deterrent. But I know for him, he's very interested in he's been doing a lot of seminars and meetup groups and whatnot. He's been traveling a lot, and he's been connecting quite a bit with his community. But he's a great networker, great personality. I think he's going to be, great for the BitConnect community. He's kind of expanding a little bit more. He's not really, solely focusing on Australia, and that's one of the things that we're seeing with some of the top promoters is that, they have us kind of the way they have the top promoter structure is specific to a certain country. However, I'm going to be the top promoter for Singapore, but my biggest followings are in the U.S. My biggest networks are in the U.S., and I'm going to be looking to continue to grow that. I've got a lot of interest in growing a Hispanic, Spanish-speaking Latin communities throughout Latin America and South America, and I've got some people that I'm looking to coordinate with there. I'm looking to do some work with the NFL. Since I have some connections with the NFL and I'm a former NFL player, so the athletic aspect I think is an untapped market as well, and it'd be a great source of free advertising as you're seeing more and more people get into cryptocurrency, more and more people getting into platforms like BitConnect. So I think that's going to be a growing trend. Morning, great to be here. 5:30 a.m. Whereabouts are you, Jonathan? Who is the Canadian promoter? So it's Simon. He actually does not want to be on camera hardly at all, but he's a really smart guy. I think he's got his reasons for that. He is, I like his mentality. He's not a guy that's going to be going out and buying Lamborghinis and Ferraris. But he's doing well. He's staking a lot. He said he was staking about 6 million in BCC coins right now. And so as he kind of got into the platform, he was at the original meeting with me in August. And so since then, he became the Canadian promoter, and he he's been building networks and teams. He has a network marketing background, so he already had some teams and networks that he was doing in Canada, and so he's been doing well. He's been doing real well. But he's got some IT and like some technical expertise, and so I've been talking to him quite a bit about some different things. So I'm very interested in kind of working with him some more. We get along great. So he's more, you know, we're on the same page and same wavelength. But he's not a guy you're going to be seeing on camera. He just started an Instagram. I don't have my phone here. He just started an Instagram. So if you I don't know the best way to bring that information. I don't even know what his name is. It's like BAV something. For the longest, I thought Clover was Carson Palmer's brother. I've actually gotten that quite a bit. When I was in the NFL, people say I look exactly like Carson Palmer. So for those of you who don't know who Carson Palmer is the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. He was the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's originally hails from I believe it was USC. I think that's where he was a quarterback in college. Yeah, I look quite a bit like him. It's funny you say that because that's like the big comparison I get. Like if someone says I look like somebody, like the main thing that comes to mind is Carson Palmer. That's the biggest comparison I've got. If only NFL players had extra money to invest. Your thoughts on the UFO soft disclosure this week and how it may affect crypto? I'm not as familiar with that. Let me see if I can bring that up in a search. UFO soft disclosure. I'll have to take a look at that. Something with some sort of investigation with the Pentagon, secret. I'll have to take a look into that. Carson was also on the Bachelor reality TV show. Actually, I believe that was his younger brother, if I'm not mistaken. So there's two Palmers, and so there was I think the other one was his brother, who wasn't as successful in the NFL, but it was successful in college. All right, guys, I've been on for quite a while. I typically try to keep these streams at about 30 or 40 minutes. I just wanted to stay on longer because I've been having so many issues live streaming for so dang long. It's been actually good to live stream and kind of connect with my audience a little bit. But I'm going to start doing daily live streams. I'm going to try and find a good spot to set up so that I'm not going to be like I was having so many problems in Dubai, and even just recently I did a live stream the other day, and the whole thing was like, first it was cutting out because I went into a tunnel, then it started cutting out because it was storming. I was like, I can't win. So I'm gonna find a place to set up an office and make sure that I'm connected to the internet. But yeah, I'll take a few more questions. I'll probably get off here in a few. What years did you play at Duke? I played 2004 to 2000 or 2000 to 2004. So I was in, I played there for 5 years. Redshirted my first year. I was too skinny my first year. I just wasn't really ready for college ball. I was still acclimating with the heat and humidity in North Carolina, it wasn't really worth that. Yeah, stop streaming through long ass tunnels. I wasn't even like, we went through this long tunnel in Singapore. I don't think I've ever been in that tunnel before. But yeah, some sort of long tunnel that runs through Singapore. And as soon as we went in, my stream cut out. So I apologize for that. Your thoughts on crypto and blockchain and music? I have seen several great projects coming online recently. Um, I mean, I think one of the things that uh, is going to be, I think it's going to be a really interesting aspect. I've been kind of talking about that a little bit with the music video. So if you're, if you see a lot of crypto people, their primary outlet has been YouTube. And if you look at YouTube's in terms of views, like say you want to get the most views of, you want to have like a video that has the most amount of views on crypto or whatever. The most viewed videos on YouTube are music videos, and specifically, you're seeing a lot more music videos that are Latin based, and I think that that's going to be a little bit of a growing trend. There are videos that people are watching over and over and over again, and I think you're going to see more incorporation with cryptocurrency and music. That's going to be something I'm going to be looking to do with some of the media production endeavors I'm looking to do in Vietnam, as well as with Korea and India. I've been, talking with those communities quite a bit, and so I'm looking to kind of bring, some of the different aspects to the platform. We'll see if those mesh well, but don't think it's going to be quite the best fit for Singapore. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe there might be some opportunities here, but I think for setting up an office and whatnot, I think Singapore is going to be great for setting up kind of the trading business office, and I think there's going to be more supportive of that. Singapore in general has been very supportive of some of these newer innovations in cryptocurrency in general. So I think that's going to be a great thing. I mean, you're seeing already in Vietnam, they're looking to make Bitcoin illegal, just Bitcoin, not cryptocurrency, but Bitcoin's going to be illegal in Vietnam January 1st. You're seeing some different things come out of Korea since there's been so much activity and whatnot, so they might be clamping down a little bit in Korea. And India also has been really cracking down on the cryptocurrency community there as well. And so I've been, I don't know as much about that, but I've been hearing a few different stories about some of the progressions in India. And I think that's another reason why they're very interested in having a non-Indian person doing some of the promotional material for India. Robert Watson. Duke, oh geez, we're gonna have to reevaluate our relationship. Must be a North Carolina guy. So I did go to Duke because of the athletics program in North Carolina. So I played on a very good basketball team in high school, and our point guard got a full ride scholarship to North Carolina as a point guard. And so we went out to North Carolina on a basketball tournament, and played in a tournament out there. And so that's where I got some exposure to Duke and got some exposure to the Duke community. We toured the campus, and I met some of the coaches, and that's kind of how I got my initial introduction to those guys. And I've been recruited all over the West Coast, but not a whole lot on the East Coast. And part of that's just because of the difference there. But we'll see. I'm interested in I was just kind of interested in traveling a little bit, getting away from Seattle. Kim Jong-un coin, little moon. Merry Christmas from Super B. All right, thanks, appreciate that, Curtis. All right, and with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call that a stream. So I appreciate you guys staying on as long as you did. Like and subscribe, and catch you guys on my next stream.